Let's rub our hands together. We'll start with the Adi mantra. Exhale totally. And inhale. Exhale deeply. Inhale. Exhale. Let's inhale to chant. Jugan Gurename, San Gurename, Siri Gurudeve Name, An Gurename, Jugan Gurename, San Gurename, Siri Gurudeve Name, An Gurename, Jugan Gurename, San Gurename, Siri Gurudeve Name. Satnam, welcome everyone to this Karam Kriya workshop to welcome the 2025 year. I hope you hear me all well and that the translation works properly for everyone, that you can all understand and join. So this numerology workshop is based on Karam Kriya, which is a sacred numerology, which is an applied numerology, which means it's not just ideas of the numbers of the new year of 2025, but it's how the qualities of those numbers can apply to you and your life and how you're going to live your year. Karam Kriya has been developed and founded by Shiv Sharan Singh, who set up the Karam Kriya, the international Karam Kriya School, based now in Portugal. It's, as I was saying, a sacred numerology linked to Kundalini Yoga, of course. And our main references are the numbers, of course, being in numerology, but also the Mool mantra, the spiritual bodies, and the Sikh gurus. So these are all our references you're going to hear about throughout those next 2 hours. It's an interesting process for us because for many years, maybe some of you know, Shiv Sharan Singh has been introducing this workshop with 3HO Europe. And this year he decided to actually ask 9 of us to do the introduction. So, which is very related to this year's number, total number of the year, 2 plus 2 plus 5 being 9. So from the one person, the one founder, the seed of all those Karam Kriya teachings are coming the 9. So the multiplication of the teachings is spreading and diversifying, we could say. So I'm very happy to introduce you to this workshop. I am Har Atma Kaur. I am a Karam Kriya consultant and trainer in France, in Paris. And my colleagues are going to introduce you further into the numbers of this year. Before introducing them to you, I want to highlight the fact that this presentation is not a prediction of what the year is going to be for you personally or us more globally, but a highlight of some of the themes that might be more present or themes you might want to meditate particularly on, or themes that might be more present for you and to look at. There's so many teachings and aspects of us and of the teachings to study that this could be good themes to reflect on. The numbers are present, all the numbers are present everywhere, all the time. We have one physical body, we have 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs. We're born from the one source, the one spirit came our soul, and we incarnated in this world of duality, of polarity, etc., etc. So every number is present all the time, but those numbers might be more specifically present. So this year. So which number are we talking about? First is the number 5. From the first big change is from 24. We're going into the year 25. So the digit 4 goes into 5. So number 5 will be very important. And then 2 plus 5 is 7. This is another important number that we're going to look at. And as I mentioned, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. So this is how we calculate the numbers we particularly we're going to study today with you. You could also study and calculate your own personal yearly number. And you could do this by adding your day of birth, month of birth, and the total year, which is 9. So, for example, I'm born on the 6th of November. This is 6 plus 1 plus 1 and plus 8. Plus 9, sorry. So I'm adding 11 plus 6, which is 17, which I reduce to 8. You reduce all numbers together, and 8 plus 9 is going to be 8. An interesting characteristic quality of the 9, very present this year, maybe more at the end of the year, is that the 9 is very altruistic. and which means it's going to erase itself to give space for the number it's added to. 8 plus 9 is 8. Of course, 8 plus 9 is 17, which then reduce to 8, 7 plus 1. So these are themes to reflect on, and that might be present, as I was saying, for you personally in your life, even though they're always present. And globally, we know that we're all, most of us are recognizing this year as being the year 2025, almost 3/4 of the world. And therefore, this is a number we're going to write quite often. On our documents, we're going to see it in our emails, we're going to write it on our official papers. So these numbers are going to be more particularly present, the same way the numbers of your date of birth are quite present for you, because how often do you write your date of birth in so many different papers, and how many do you think and have present your date of birth? So those are numbers that are quite important for you. So I'm going to introduce to you my colleagues who are present today online, and also those who couldn't be present but who have been working with us on this presentation. Krishan Singh from Holland but living in Germany will introduce to you number 7, which is very linked to the mind and the importance of understanding our mind and our mind games and making them transparent. Then Suhab Kaur, Italian living in London, is going to talk to you about the 5, number 5, which is the digit that might be more personal this year, more connected to who you are or who you are becoming. And she's going to talk to you about the importance of the transformation or transformations you might need to take and to engage with to get closer to who you really are, to your Satnam, and get closer to peace, inner peace, as Avtar Kaur is going to talk to you about number 9, and you might have seen it in the title of this workshop. Number 9 is related to peace, among other things, and peace is going to be an overarching goal, maybe aim for this year. So Avtar Kaur is going to, the Avtar Kaur French living in Germany and Switzerland, is going to talk to you about the qualities of number 9, of those peaceful qualities, and also qualities of a cycle, of the end of a cycle, and maybe the beginning of a new cycle that you might go towards. And this is really reflected in our process as well. Maybe the end of a cycle and the start of a new cycle in terms of presentation comes. So, and then Sukhdev Kaur from Mexico but living in Estonia and India is going to lead you into a final meditation to incarnate and to help you maybe incarnate those numbers and this sequence. Very interestingly, the way we're presenting to you this sequence 7, 5, 9 is the sequence very, very much related to the way Karam Kriya is looking at the world and studying the world and ourselves individually. From our mind, we get we become aware of our mind to be able to go through a transformation and get to some peace and maybe mastery. So I will say no more and let you in the hands of Hari Krishan Singh. Satnam.
Satnam, thank you very much, Har Atma, and hello everybody. This time actually from the Netherlands. I am Dutch and I live in Germany, but I'm traveling at the moment, so I'm in the south of the Netherlands. And yes, we're going to start talking about the number 7. And for those of you who were present this morning and you heard the hukum, there were all the numbers that we're going to talk about today were present, very interestingly. The hukum was from Kabir, and he speaks in that hukum of the Kasi. And as Parvinder Singh, he explained that the Kasi is the pitcher, like a container, a pitcher for water, just as our body is a container for our spirit. And the body, as you might know, the physical body is number 5. And this picture is not just the physical body, it's the body-mind construct, the body-mind system. So also the mind is number 7. And the spirit, which it contains, is number 9. The hukum is also number 9. So there also the 9 was very present. So this picture, this container is like a mold, like a shape that can hold the spirit. And this mold, this shape is your story, the story of your life, your personality. And this is something that you can influence, and that can be, maybe that's not the best word, but can be optimized or can be aligned with the unfolding of the story of your spirit, so that the spirit really feels invited, so that it can descend into this container. So that's going to be the first part of this presentation, is talking about how to become more aware of this container, in specifically the mind first, and how to make that transparent, because the problem or the challenge with the mind is that this story is so convincing, and it is so all-encompassing, that you kind of forget often that there is this story, that there is this container, and you might forget that there is something else. So a big theme of this year, which might also come up in the second part of this presentation, is who am I? Who am I is a question related to number 5. It's about identity. And this is something that you can pay more attention to maybe in this year. Just as Har Atma said, we're not predicting anything. There's not something special happening to you necessarily, but there are vibrations, there are qualities that invite you to look at certain aspects of yourself a bit more closely this year, and specifically 7, 5, and 9, as was said. So I'm going to talk about the number 7, and the number 7 is also the eyes. It's visual, and I've checked just now. There's 110 people, and I think there's about 29 are visible. So or am I? No, I think I see everybody on my screen. So I would like to invite you to turn on your camera so that R7, our visual, is satisfied a little more. Interestingly, and we will see the physical body, number 5. And interestingly, when we have an online meeting, we don't connect through our aura, which is, of course, the seventh body, and also number 7, but we connect more through the subtle body, through the number 9. So even though we don't need the visual necessarily, it's still satisfying. It satisfies an important part of us, which I'm going to talk about now to make that more and more transparent, less maybe important, or to see the right kind of importance. I invite you to show your physical. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about it to make it maybe less important, or to put it in the right perspective. But still, let's honor our physical, and let's show ourselves to each other. So the 7 is the mind field, right? The mind is not just your personal mind, your personal thoughts, but it's a whole field that you enter into, that your spirit hopefully enters into more and more fully. Another invitation for this year to embody your spirit, right? The title of this workshop is to embody the spirit of peace, and spirit is peaceful. Your spirit, your essence, your soul, you could say, is in a state of peace, in a state of full relaxation. But we need to create the right conditions for this spirit to descend. And not such a good condition is to worry a lot of time, or to judge others in terms of what they are doing, that would be bad or good, and it's not a good idea to feel ashamed of something, or to blame others for something. Those are games that the mind plays to deal with the influences of our environment and the experiences we have. So we like to understand a little more how the mind works, which might help you to make it a little more quiet, to allow it to align itself more to the original intention that you had for coming into this life. And that intention is translated into a story that is unfolding, that started already in the womb, before you were born, and the story was already imprinted on you through the language that you heard, the things your mother said, the things that were happening, the experiences she had. And then in the first 7 years, interestingly, there is a big imprint on your ego, and it's stored into your subconscious about an idea, a first rough idea of who you are and what the purpose is of your life here. And that imprint is unfolding through the 7-year cycle throughout your life. And it's a little bit like that your spirit, it downloads some information, some essential information every 7 years for you to gain more insight. The 7-year cycle is called the cycle of consciousness. And so you become more and more aware of this this original intention that you set, like, okay, as a soul, I would like to have certain experiences which allow me to crystallize my essence and to grow in consciousness. And these first 7 years, they are very confusing. So you take on a lot of information from your environment that tells you how you are or how you should be. And that creates trauma, some neurosis, which are necessary. They can be pretty bad and they can be more superficial. But they are yours. They are the challenges that were presented to you, and we can call them karma, and we can call them challenges. But karma also means kindness. It's a kindness that is given to you, a crisis that is given to you, challenges that are given to you, so that you get the opportunity to grow in consciousness. So it is very important, and this year might invite you into that, to realize how the mind works. It functions through the system of friend, enemy. Right? Something is friendly to you, and something is not friendly to you. It's like, and there is this function that the mind uses. It's judgment, and judgment is perfectly fine. It's the system, the mechanism through which the mind defines if something belongs to your story or something doesn't belong to your story. Right, and this is important for your sense of safety, for your development of your personality, but also to really, say, to perfect or polish the vehicle for your spirit. This story is like a vehicle. It needs to be completed. It needs to be exhausted. Exhaustion is also number 9. So it's to bring it to the end, as Har Atma already mentions, like to really come to a completion. And that's what your story is also intended to do. The mind field, M field, Maya field, but also magnetic field, right? The 7 is also your aura. Magnetism is the same way. It pushes some things away when they're opposite each other, or it pulls things towards you. So friend, enemy. So this could be a theme to look at in this year. Okay, what do I consider friendly, and what do I consider an enemy in my life? And can I really calibrate? Can I really evaluate that? And as in Guru Nanak suggests in Japji, Ai Panti Sagala Jamati Manjitai Jagjit. The last part is often quoted: conquer the mind, conquer the world. But the first part is very interesting as well. Is sometimes it's translated as join the brotherhood of man, or join the Sangat, join the community of humankind. Become a friend of the world, right? If everything is friendly, then there's no need to protect yourself anymore. Of course, don't be naive. There is the need for protection, but especially in terms of personality and ego, that is something that throughout the life can develop into a more open approach, right? To consider less and less and less things as enemy, and more and more as friendly. Maybe not friendly to the development of your individual story, but as a whole, as to look at the world as being something that you also want to serve. You might not want to serve your enemy, right? But you do want to serve your friend. So if you consider everybody your friend, something opens within you. So it's important to make these games, these mechanisms of the mind, right? This jealousy or shame or blame, or to make them more and more transparent, to notice when you are doing that. Right? The mind is like is looking at a certain, it's looking at life from a certain perspective, with a certain angle. And you've had an angle from the beginning of your life, and you start to develop that, but there is this story that you keep repeating. And so one thing that you could do is to reevaluate the story you tell about yourself to others, but also to yourself. Is this a story that really serves the unfolding of my soul, of my potential? And we need guidance for that. And that's where we're coming to that in the presentation about number 9, because that's where the 7 receives its guidance from. If you allow it, if the 7 allows it, if your mind allows it, if it's not just seeking to understand all the time, like, why does this work like that? Why does that work like that? Why is a real question of number 7? But that it learns to stand under and that it allows itself to be guided. One way to make peace, right? Number 9, make peace with some of the more persistent stories in your life is through forgiveness, which is the virtue of number 9. And forgiveness can lead to peace, but also inner peace can allow you to be forgiving. And then who to forgive? Is there somebody in your life that needs forgiveness, or do you need forgiveness? So this is a good theme to work on in this year, because through the forgiveness, it will be more and more possible for you to start embodying peace. The 7 has a tendency to want to rule, want to be the king, want to, if you see the shape of the number 7, there's like a little step up onto a platform. And from that platform, you can feel really important and really proud. And look, I feel higher than everybody. And it's the crown chakra. I'm wearing the crown. I am the king. But is that king informed by a master or mastery itself? Is there some mastery coming through? Is there a guidance? Or is the king kind of guided by madness? That's the karmic side of the number 9, which I'm not sure if that has already been said, but the numbers, they always have a karmic or a dharmic expression. And that's your responsibility. That's your possibility or opportunity to see how these numbers manifest in your life, and if they are expressing themselves karmically, if some of your bodies, of the 10 bodies, that there's a disbalance there, how can you transform them into dharma? So the numbers 7, 5, and 9 that are present in this year, they might express themselves in karmic or dharmic ways, right? So we will highlight several of those. And so a more dharmic way for the 7 to sit on that platform is to be the witness, right? Is to observe again, the sense of the number 7, the 3 and 7 is vision, and to just observe and to witness the unfolding of the world, and not so much go into the judgment. Judgment is okay if it's personal. This belongs to me, this doesn't belong to me. Right? It's just healthy, right? You need to have a boundary. Like your aura is the boundary of your mind field, and you can decide what comes in and what doesn't come in. But don't generalize. Don't say that whatever is not good for you, what is enemy to you, is enemy for everybody. Right? All right. Just checking my notes if there's anything that I would like to still add to this. Before we continue with the number 5. Yes, so the main thing with the mind is to make it transparent and to know how it works, to see it for what it is, to see that the auric system with the 7 chakras, they create this story, this persona, this vehicle for the spirit in this lifetime. And there have been many, many stories. So it's one story of many, saying that everybody has a story. So that could invite some compassion, that could invite some understanding. and also realization that that is a temporary construct, right? This M field, the Maya field, the illusion of Maya is that we think things are permanent, the illusion of permanence. And we'll hear with the number 5, everything changes. So if you are not aware of that, if you are very locked into this illusion of the mind field, of the Maya field, you are also much less able to change, right? You become very rigid. I have a plan, it has to go like that. And because it has always been like that, right? It's another important realization. The mind is historical. It always looks back how it has been, and then it projects that into the future, which is called hope. I hope something will happen because I know how that can be. So I'm going to project that into future. But we never know how things are going to be. So it is a better idea than to hope for something to happen. So I hope that you will have a blessed 2025, but I pray that you are open for the unknown and that you will allow yourself to be guided by your spirit. So having said that, I would like to ask Suhab to continue sharing about number 5. Salam.
Satnam, thank you, Hare Krishan, for this beautiful introduction and extensive introduction to number 7. So next is number 5. Number 5 in 2025 has a special place. It's what in Karam Kriya we call the gift within the gift. The last 2 numbers of the year, so 2025 will be the gift, and number 5, the last number of the year, is the gift within the gift, is the genie, but it can also be the saboteur. Yeah? So as Har Krishan said before, number 5 speaks to us about embodiment. Number 7 is the map, the ways we see, the perspective we take in the world. So when we zoom out, when we zoom in, what we see, what angle we look at things from. Number 5 is the journey. It's great to have a good map to make the journey, but still we have to make the journey. And number 5, the 5th spiritual body, is the physical body. So the mind can help us remember and be clear about who we are. And number 5 is about the experience of who we are. The movement between 7 and 5. 7 is the gift of this year. The last 2 numbers of the year are the gift. And 5, which is the last number of 2025, is the gift within the gift. While 7, as Har Krishan has greatly explained to us, has to do with the mind and the way we see the world and how that shapes our understanding of the world. It has to do with the magnetic fields we live in, the many magnetic fields we live in, that affect our ways of seeing, the histories and so on, the past. Number 5 has to do with the journey we're making. We are spirits having a human experience. When the mind understands that, the mind can support us. And as we make the journey, we're talking about embodiment, we have a physical body. And the physical body is the 5th spiritual body, is a body for the spirit to have the experience, the human experience. So number 5 speaks to us about embodiment and also about alchemical change and transformation. You might have seen, you might know one of the key symbols for alchemy is the 5-pointed star. Yeah, and when you look at the star and you draw it in a straight manner, you will see that a pentacle is five, a 5 geometrical shape is created inside. Within that, there is another pointed star, 5-pointed star, which is inverted. And within that, there is another pentacle. So this alchemical symbol tells us about the constant transformation and inversion that happens in life. Nothing is really what it seems. There is a paradox which we cannot resolve. And this is really what life is about, living the paradox. Change and transformation, being available for that is a very important theme for this year. Am I available to become what I'm meant to become, what I ought to become, what I'm already? So if not, what is it that I can let go of? What is the sacrifice? This is an important theme of number 5. The virtue of number 5 is sacrifice. And we all know that to achieve anything that is meaningful, there has to be a sacrifice. So what is the sacrifice that I could make in order to become more who I am? Letting go, as Har Krishan said, forgiven, is really a prerequisite for making the most out of this human experience. So one good little exercise that we could do, that you could do this year, not so much New Year resolution, but more just writing a little list of what you could let go of, what you could sacrifice, the games and intrigues of our ego. Number 1, our head, what we call our head. All the familiar dramas, what Har Krishan called the past. All the useless conflicts, or being the false king, number 7, the need to be right, the reactive patterns, all the mirages and the false promises of Maya. Give up all the stories about who we are, what we should be, what we should get. Give up the self-judging oppressor, the tyrant within us. Give up the dogmatic attitudes, all the self-defeating japas, all the inner dialogue that doesn't serve us. I'm not good enough, I'm not loved. All these voices, these japas that sneak into our head and throw us out of balance. Number 5 is about balance, achieving that balance. We could give up all those little addictions that keep us prisoner in a false state of safety and balance. All the thoughts that have colonized our mind. We are in the information age. This is what goes on all the time. We're being colonized, not without, within. And also give up our judgment of what's right and what's wrong. This is what really the mind can help us see and remember that everything is divine will. So, one important aspect of number 5 is that as the 5th sound in the Moon Mantra says, Karta Purk, there is a being in the village. Kar, to do, Purk, to be, the doer and the observer. It is, number 5 is the self in the experience of the self. I am having an experience, but who is observing? Who is the observer? So, ik is the self, ong is the self in time, kad, the self in space. Sat is the self in the truth, in the consciousness of self. Satna, kartapurk, is the self in the experience of self. So the experience is what we need for the learning. We're here to learn what it is to be human, the possible human. So I am the student and I am the teacher, and everything I experience is through this body. But what am I learning from my experience? If our body-mind is, and a consciousness system is harmonized, then we can make the most of our experience. Then we really can learn. Otherwise, we'll be wandering again and again in unfruitful paths. We'll keep having car crashes without really learning much at all. So this year is a year where maybe we can place a particular emphasis on the process of self-learning. Okay? What am I learning from my experience? Activate our witness and learn. So the human body is a precious gift. It takes many, many, many millions of incarnations to receive this gift. And within this physical body, we have a powerful, sophisticated, extensive neuroglandular system, which is first and foremost a communication system. A reminder that number 5 has to do with sound. The fifth sense is sound and hearing, and sound is multidimensional, multidirectional, and it's synergetic. Yeah. So one important thing about this system, this physical body, is that we are like radios. We are receivers and emitters of frequencies all the time. Frequencies are being emitted all the time in the cosmos, and we can receive them. If we fine-tune our apparatus, we can be on the right frequency. Yeah? And if we don't tune it, we might get lost in the white noise of the information age. So another suggestion for this year, tune up our system. Yeah. And of course, in Kundalini Yoga, we have a wonderful, amazing tool to tune up our system, which is mantra, Shabd Guru. So Shabd Guru. And mantra can really support us in getting to that right frequency where we can make our mind work for us, and we can really learn from our experience. So when our nervous system is strong, it gives us an extraordinary sensitivity to what is really happening beyond the veil of Maya, to the cosmic web of interconnections that are constantly happening. We can also hear, and this is very important, and sense the divine hukam, the divine order, and act accordingly in an intuitive way. And when our glandular system is balanced, and the practice of Nad Yoga really helps us achieving that balance, we can experience bliss, a kind of a natural bliss, a Cherdikala state. It's not about being optimistic or pessimistic. It's just an elevated state of being. It's like the state suggested by Ang Sang Vahe Guru, where every limb, every cell, every part of me is vibrating at the frequency of the divine, of Vahe Guru. And that is Simran. a blissful state of spontaneous vibration. And let us remember the fifth sutra of the Aquarian age is vibrate the cosmos, and the cosmos shall clear the path. I also wanted to remind you of the fifth sutra of Patanjali's wheel. The fifth limb of Patanjali's wheel, which is pratyahar. It's a mysterious limb that has not been discussed very much, but Yogi Bhajan discussed it in a way that is quite unique. He basically said, yes, pratyahar is about the withdrawal of the senses, but more than anything, it's about decoupling from Maya. So we desynchronize from the white noise so that we can synchronize with the hukam, the divine order. So that we can experience gratefulness. So, gratefulness for this body, this life, for anything we are receiving, any situation or challenge. Let us receive it as a gift. So, I think that's all for me for now. Just to recap, the importance of inner and outer dialogue, to choose the words, choose what we want to communicate, what we want to share, choose our frequencies. And as the theme for this year is the theme of peace, choose the sort of dialogue and the words that may help us embody peace, feel peace within, and embody peace and share it in the world. So dialogue, communications, and words will be very, very important. Embodiment, how we feel inside, and what frequency we experience in our mind, in our physical body, in our heart, will be crucial for us to be able to feel and experience peace. Sat Nam.
Satnam. Thank you, Suhab and Hare Krishan. I have an unexpected visitor next to me, which is a sign of the random way the Guru is working in many forms. And that's what I want to talk about with you today, about this aspect that we're going to be in a relation with this year, as there's many voices. There are many voices that we receive from the subtle realms, from the Akashic, from the Matrix, and we can choose. And this is the 5 moment that Suhab was talking about. This do I go into my mind and start making stories about what it is, what I should allow and I should not allow, and being busy with that and taking me away from a place of full release into what is. And that's where we can be in contact with peace, is that when we recognize, we accept, and we agree with what there is in the situation that we commit ourselves to when we engage into this incarnation, because the journey of the soul is to come home. The journey here in this 3-dimensional world is a journey we are passing through, and the ultimate realization of the soul is to come back home, having crystallized enough experiences through this physical body, through these five senses, through the through all the relationship that we had in this incarnation, so that we can independently from what is happening around us remain in that state. And this is not a concept which would be like more number 7, like peace is oh yeah, it's good to talk about peace. It is good to talk about peace, indeed. In our communication, it's good to remind us that there is peace, but is there also an active making in my body that I am expressing myself from that space of peace? And this year, being in the totality of it, of the numbers, number 9, it really invites us to look at the end of this cycle and to use that universal kind of collective coming to an end to really reflect on what is it in me that I have to bring to dust, to end, in a peaceful way, not in a reactive way, but in a way that is guided by a primary intelligence that has been guiding us all along. And as we are moving closer to the core of the Aquarian Age, what we have been looking forward for so many years, naively, there's also this aspect of can I embrace that hukam? Yeah, Suhab was talking about the hukam, the cosmic order that I am part of, and that there is always this this questioning of the mind. Do I have free will? Am I imposed something? And this is the paradox we are living in as humans. Yes, there is a predestined destiny, and yet, yes, I can have an impact on my implication into the world, the collective, the 9. So this is the invitation for this year, and this exploration of the numbers of the years with the 7, the 5, and the 9 is really for us also to get more attuned with our sensitivity, with something that is not visible, which is beyond the what I see. Yeah, an invitation to see the unseen, to speak the unspoken, to refine our senses to another level. And for that I need to bring to an end whatever has been brought me away from that awareness. My stories, my false understanding. And to come to the understanding that I stand under a higher consciousness, a higher self. Guru Dev. Dev is transparent. The seven is allowing me to look through my mind when I am on the platform for elevation. My mind, when it has been trained, when I have transformed my way of how I look at the world, there is a reversal moment, and therefore I can turn my vision around and start looking at not only myself, but only any relationship that I have in a different way, from the perspective of, am I at peace? Do I have patience? Do I have endurance to go through what I am going through? The world might be in agitation, the world, there must be some movement in the background, noise outside, chaos around. Can I still keep my focus? My focus is my soul, is my relation to not only my soul, but the soul in everyone. And incorporate that, all the aspects, number 9, all the subtle, all the dispersed aspects, to bring them into focus, into one point, which is the point of light, which is the light of the soul. And this is when the magic starts happening. When I do not add anything, when I do not subtract anything, when I do not multiply anything, when I do not divide anything, then I can feel the magic. The magic that, not that I am creating, but the magic that created me as a whole. And that is where we are heading to, as we are moving deeper into that change of paradigms, change of structures. Everything that used to work for 2000 years is not working anymore. So what is it in me that can be born out of those ashes? Can I contribute with my own self-initiation, with volunteering, to reverse? We are we are standing at the moment of inversion. It can turn into something very sweet, very peaceful, very calm, or it could turn into something very tyrannic, just because of the wanting to hold onto the old structures, not knowing how to transform, not trusting the hukam, this primary intelligence that created me and put me exactly where I am supposed to be. The 9 is, you know it from the 10 bodies, is the subtle body. It has to do with patience, endurance, tolerance, persistence, resilience. It is mystery or mastery. Where there's mystery, there's no mastery. As long as the mind starts thinking that it doesn't have the whole, like in the hukam of this morning, the mind is busy with finding what is missing. Peace only comes when I realize that everything is already there. There's a fulfillment. I can sit because I know that everything is perfect. And if that doesn't look perfect, it is perfectly imperfect and imperfectly perfect. This is what will give me peace, that understanding. That's where it is very crucial year this year, actually, that we have those numbers, 7, 5, and 9. It is really like asking us to gather all the parts of us in order to bridge what is still missing. And this is collectively. This is one individual with one individual. It's the sand in the desert. It's each grain is important. It's like a orchestra. Each instrument is essential to make a beautiful melody. And that is also the invitation for this year. Getting together with all our imperfections, differences, and create a vibration, a frequency of achievement, of going home together, crossing the world ocean, through the Shabbat Guru, through the sound, the 5, my voice, my expression, can I also, in my silent voice, can I be in connection, in relation, 5, to peace, and observe where I might drift away and come back, because there's no other focus than that. Peace. Peace in the world. Peace in my mind. Peace in my body. And then the change can happen. Then I can, like Suhab was saying, it's like the Indra's net. We are all connected. We're all in relation with everything and everyone. Can I see God's play in that? And continue to walk, because the 9 in the totality is our walk in this life, our walk in my incarnation, in community, in the global, in the whole, the universal. What is it that I plant today as a seed for tomorrow to grow? Maybe we might not see peace in our lifetime, but I will have planted the seed of that inner complete focus on being at home, and finally I can relax. Wherever I am, it is that fortress within me that is giving me that sense of strength. It's the strength of the spirit. Spirit, totality of the spirit. It's not just my spirit. Yeah? The mantra for the Aquarian age is keep up and you will be kept up. So there is something beyond myself. It's a more subtle presence. Am I available? Do I allow myself to be in contact with this subtle presence and let that subtle presence walk me through? Or am I running away, saying, no, it's too much, it's intense, I don't know where it comes from, I don't see it, therefore it doesn't exist? Way beyond that. This year is really asking us to focus on the one in everyone. It's not about my own story, of course. It's about what is my story in God's play? What is my role in that perfect play of life? It's a bit, at some point Yogi Bhajan said that, how you are taught from the very beginning, from your childhood, and that's the 7 years, the first 7 years that Hari Krishan was talking about at the beginning. From the first 7 years on of your life, you are told not to talk to any stranger. So you haven't developed that capacity to talk to the spirit, who is like an alien, as far as you think you are as possible. So it's also developing that communication, that inner communication with that strange part of yourself, that hidden self in you. The Baba, the wise, the guru. It's in the cave, grotte in French. Yeah, it feels like, but there's such a sweetness in that meeting that I can just let myself being guided to that path. Then there's no more questioning, there's no more sense of being lost, because there's a direction. And that's probably where the mastery comes from. That inner sense that wherever I am, I can see the peak of the mountain. And I am the mountain in me, staying flexible and yet very stable. And being able to look at all those little games of the mind from above. We can be invited to also, if we because we won't get rid of our expectations. That's clear that the mind is the ultimate let's say situation is to have the mind so transparent that the light of the soul can shine through like a diamond. But if there's any expectation for this year, as we have the 7, is to be more in contact with the magic. With the unexpected, random situation that might bring us to get closer to ourselves. Whatever the situation may be, is to trust the magic and to embrace that aspect of the number 9. Because number 9 is also that capacity through the subtle body to enter different realms that might be otherwise not really. There's doors to those realms to gain an understanding. And the more I will feel in my senses, also in my physical body, and the number 5, the more I can refine my senses to sense, as I said, like to see the unseen, to speak the unspoken, to go beyond the realm of the mind and to make the experience of that spirit in me and in everything. The great spirit, yeah, we could call it like the great spirit in everywhere. And because it's everywhere, we need to keep the focus. We need to really hold on the focus. The relation between 1 and 9, yeah, numbers are working with pairs like 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3, 7, 4 and 6, 5 and 10. And because the 9 is very vast, it is important to, we say Guru is God in focus. Because God is everywhere, is permeating everywhere. So we need to have that anchor into the Guru, into that inner wisdom, inner guidance, transparent Gurudev, this transparent, beyond the coloring of the mind. Yeah. Maybe the focus could be to when we talk, when we walk, to be always in company of and the presence of the of this peace that is coming back at the unexpected moment, and not expecting to have peace. I will have peace, or I will be at peace when this and this happens, or it's more like, what is it that in me still keeps me away from feeling that sense of peace? And that is, and we will be tested. That's clear. We are going to be tested, and the more we are tested, actually, the more it should be an opportunity, a chance for us to come back to that sense of peace. And that from there, from that place, we can radiate. Requires patience, endurance. Keep up and you will be kept up. But you're not alone, and that's the collective aspect of number 9. You keep up and you will be kept up. All of us, in our sense of keeping up will create a field of cherdikala. Stay in a state of bliss, whatever, more tragedy, more drama, karma, drama, and then we will be uplifted into a realm of subtlety where the magic can happen, because we are not alone. Waheguru, I think I don't know if there's the other aspect of the 9 is the altruistic aspect. You know, sometimes we can feel like we are with each other or at each other, and number 9 is inviting us to be there for each other. That's the number 9 disappears. If you add any number to number 9, the quality of number 9 is that it's so altruistic that it disappears. And when we were preparing this this workshop, we were talking about, oh, watch out, what is there? We're talking about sacrifice. Do I have to sacrifice myself completely to disappear for the others to exist? It's something that we can ask ourselves the question, because it is in the essence of the number 9 is to be altruistic. You cannot do anything else than that. So I'm not, number 9 and subtle body and the 9 treasures that are going along with it. It's not something that you go and grab. And if there would be something to keep from this exploration of number 9, is really to for us to embody it, is to let it come to us, allow it through the filters of the mind, that is from that platform of elevation, to allow peace to come in, to allow that subtle realm to come in my body, to call on the golden chain, call on all the subtle realms to support us, so that we can walk what we call we can walk on the groundless ground. Even if this three-dimensional world is taking my ground away from me, there's still another ground, more subtle, that is allowing me to still walk and not fall into my old patterns, fall into some dependency or compensation or other things that are keeping me away from the real self, my real identity, my true identity, my Satnam, which is I'm here on the journey of the soul, from the source, number 1, from the echo, into the Ajuni. Was not even in this womb. I don't have my traumas, my histories. I'm not even from there. That's where my alien part is, that I am in the world, but I'm not from this world. And this is my identity. This is really clear, crystal clear. And yet for that I need to remember, bring all the parts of myself that have been scattered around along this journey. Now is the time to get that back together, so that I can start feeling something beyond my stories and start relaxing. So bringing that peace within. And this is where, if whether I sabotage my pattern, my mind, in order to maintain peace, or I sabotage peace to maintain my ego, my mind. At some point, the outcome will be that there will be a choice made and something will be brought into dust. Do I want to bring into dust my ego, or do I want to bring to dust my spirit? And this is to be every day, each day, alone, individually and collectively, to be put back into the work to that. Through the Shabbat Guru, through the mantra, repeating, repeating, repeating. And that's where we are going to finish that workshop with a meditation that will allow ourselves to call on peace to come in and to embody that peace, to think it, speak it, and walk it. Satnam. No, Sukhdev is going to.
Sadnam, Sadnam. So I will introduce to, we will do a meditation right now that is with the mantra Sahai Hoa. And after that, so there will be another meditation done at the end of the day by Sat Shakti. This will be the meditation that you will be able to practice for 40 days. It's a bit of a shorter meditation, but the one right now, we will practice for a deep experience. This is called meditation to command the 5 tattvas. So the 5 elements, we talked a little bit about the 5 being related to the physical body. We are here because we have been, we received the body to experience the 5 elements. And with this come the 5 passions. And like the star that Suhab was mentioning, right? All these 5 elements, 5 senses pull us out. We need to bring them in. And that's the cave of the 1 and the 9. All of these 5, which are looking, smelling, tasting, hearing, all of the distraction outside, let's gather them together, all of this multiplicity of ourselves, our personalities, our parts of us, fragmented, dispersed. Let's bring them all to the one focus that we want to give our life, the one focus that our soul has chosen, right? Our hukam. What is the calling of your soul? What is the spirit? Why did you come to this earth? Why? Find that hukam, find that purpose, that passion, that path that you're here to walk, and stay with it and grab it. And that's your anchor. Your soul is the anchor. Your subtle body is the height, right? Is the balloon that is anchored in your soul. We talk about the 9, all of the 10 bodies. The subtle body anchored in the soul. And with this 9, looking at Avtar and her dog, it was very beautiful how actually the 9 can also become very heavy. So just like the winter, right? That everything sleeps, everything stays like a rock, like a fortress that was mentioned before as well. Sometimes there's a heaviness to it. So let's just be conscious that this heaviness is not coming from dormant soul, but there's also balance with the lightness, right? Lightness of being. So also bringing lightness into your life and balancing that with being, with staying, with being that stable, unmoving, strong rock that can stay through time and space, that not the air doesn't move it. And this mantra, Aap Sahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa, Har Har Har, adding the mantra Har Har to the end, it works on remembering what's my anchor, remembering where's my balance. Aap means the self, right? The divine self, God as the self within me, right? That divine within. So Aap Sahai, Sahai means protector or refuge. So the self, God within me, is my protection, my refuge in the world, like that cave where we go and meditate. and that universal womb where we came from and where we go to. So Apsahai Hoa, that is, right? Sache da sacha doa. Sache, interestingly enough, this word that repeats in different forms, sache is the multiple, is the truth in the plural world, in the plural sense. And sache da, this of, right? This truth is of the self. And within all beings, and sacha doa, this is the blessing of truth. Truth as the one, right? So the truth in the one, in the me, the truth in everywhere, in the many. It's all my refuge. My refuge is in God. My refuge is in finding the divine within. So this beautiful mantra, it's coming from a full Shabbat, and the Shabbat itself works on bringing that sense of prosperity and balancing animosity, which is also again number 7, right? Whenever you grow in light, whenever you develop your path and you dedicate yourself to your hukam and your calling and your passion, then all adversities will come, all challenges will come, and Maya tried to throw you off track. And staying in that focus, this is where I'm going. I know where my direction is, unyielding, unmovable. So, hands in Gyan Mudra, okay? Index and thumb, and place this over your knees. Strong, steady, straight spine. Open up your heart, open your shoulders. And there's the breath, right? So we will not be chanting the mantra. You will be listening. Guru Basant Singh will be playing the mantra. Listen to the sound of Ap Sahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa. And when the Har, 3 Hars come, then you do 3 breaths of fire. With every Har is 1 breath of fire. Har, Har, Har. And then you hold the breath out, okay, going into that cave. Pratyahar, no senses, withdraw within. Hold the breath out as you hear Ap Sahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa. Then short inhale, 3 breaths of fire. Har, Har, Har. Hold the breath out through the mantra. Okay, so only the breath that you will be doing is the 3 breaths of fire. Then through the rest of the mantra, you hold the breath out. Okay, eyes are focused at the third eye. Let's get the sound ready for Guru Basan to join us. And take a few deep breaths as we prepare.
The Guru is working in many ways.
Ready.
It's been a little technical issue here, but we make a little bit a compromised solution, so it should work. How long is it for, please?
Let's do 16. 16 minutes? Yeah.
Okay.
So go into your cave within yourself, right? And feel that withdrawal of the senses. I am. Enjoy.
Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Sahai Hoa Satchita Satchatoa Har 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 Apasahai 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 Hoa Satchita Satchatoa Sahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Hoa Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Apasahai Hoa 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 Sacheda Sachadoa Har 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 Sahai Hoa Satchida Satchadoa Har 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 Apasahai 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 Hoa Satchida Satchadoa Har 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 Har
Inhale deep and hold your breath in. And feel full of that peace. complete stillness. Stretch your spine up. Exhale. Inhale deep again. And hold your breath. Stretch your spine up. Consolidate at your heart. Navel in. Exhale. And one more time, inhale deep and hold your breath. And feel pregnant with that divine, full of the divine, the up within. God within. Peace within. Exhale deep. And come slowly out of your meditative posture. Take a couple of deep breaths. Assess yourself. Take a few moments to make sense of the experience. And come back to this space, shared space here. This meditation to command the 5 tattvas, I will share it in the chat. And now I'll give the word to Har Atma to say some closing words and to finish this part of the event. Satnam. There's no sound.
No, we don't hear you, but it looks like your microphone is on. Now it's off. Oh,
Yes, you must be able to hear me now. Waheguru.
very good.
Satnam, thank you. Sukhdev ji, thank you. Gudbasant Singh very much for this beautiful, beautiful chant. Thank you all for being here. Before we close this space, maybe some of you would have questions, comments, remarks, insight that what we presented to you might have brought up. Please do share if you feel like sharing, whether just taking off your microphone or writing in the chat. We have a few more minutes so we can answer questions or comments. Of course, silence after meditation is a very good comment, divine comment. So again, thank you very much all for being here. Thank you to 3HO Europe for inviting us to share with you. Thank you, Jagat Prem Kaur, for organizing and supporting this technology. Thank you to Shiv Sharan Singh, who has been present with us through us. I see a question. It's in Italian. If someone can translate it, maybe I could answer it. About the 759.
I can translate from Italian to English. It says, is it appropriate of 759, of which you spoke about before? But it's a bit difficult to understand the actual question.
Yeah, what does it mean to be appropriate? Maybe if the person, Ingrid, sat Akal, maybe if you want to voice your question or?
A proposito means, is it about the 7, 5, 9 of which you were speaking before? So maybe it refers to something you've just said.
Right. Well, what I mentioned at the beginning is that we, in this workshop, we looked at the 7, 5, and 9 individually, but it's also a sequence in itself. It's a Karam Kriya sequence to and to close this workshop. It's good to remind us to recognize, accept, and agree to our mind's game or our mind's functions, which is related to the 7. Recognize, accept, and agree that we incarnated in this human body, mind, body, and accept its functions, the way it works, to be able to better understand it and then transform it, which is the 5. Transform our karmic patterns, the patterns that keep us away and further away from our Satnam, for real self, from our soul, really. Transformation that can happen through the physical body, through the vibration, through the nad, through the sound, through the mantra, in many different ways. So this is the 5, and this is to get to the 9, to the mastery of yourself, to the mastery of peace, and touch the mystery of the universal spirit that is present in all of us, to the peaceful spirit that can descend in ourselves, in the cup of our hearts, and in our communities, if we work for it and let it be. So I hope you enjoyed this those sharing. A lot of gratitude from all of us. Krishan Singh will be offering a workshop on the 18th and 19th of January online around the qualities of the 9, perfectly perfect, perfectly imperfect. And you may also join any of us trainers and consultants of Karam Kriya who were here today. We may share our details if you want so. And I also want to mention, I said I would mention them, the 5 other people, Karam Kriya trainers who couldn't be there today, here today: Avtar Kaur, Ravijit Kaur, Har Kaur, and Suhab Kaur. So we're going to close this space, but please stay online if you want so, if you wish so. There will be a break of half an hour, and then there will be a kirtan online. You could leave your computer on, just let it, as you go around in your house, do what you have to do, and enjoy the beautiful kirtan of Amrit Sadhana Singh. And Sat Shakti Kaur will then close the morning, the online morning, with a meditation, which I believe might be related to Sat Narayan mantra, which is a mantra, another mantra, a very good mantra for peace for this year. So let's sit down again with a straight spine. Close your eyes, bring your palms together. Feel the peace within. Feel whatever is there for you. Feel the gratitude. Feel the love. Exhale. And let's inhale to chant. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Satnam. 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 Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you all. Have a beautiful 2025 year.